G'day team, it's your old mate the Kiwi Badger, and we're doing a bit of a car vlog today. Reason for that is Manfred's out of commission. We have we're recovering his seat. Yesterday I started making a video about putting new foam on the seat base, and I finished that job, and unbeknownst to me, the bloody camera memory ran out while I was recording that, so I only got half of kind of the work I did. But we're on our way into town now to drop off the seat to have it recovered professionally. I could go and buy some material, and I could go and buy a staple gun, and I could cover it myself, but I'm not gonna. I'm going to take it to an upholsterer and have it professionally covered. I want the seat to last, and although it's not a hard job, I have to buy the covering and I have to buy the tools to do it, so may as well pay someone the same amount of money to put some material on it for me. Well team, I've dropped off the Manfred seat at the upholsterer. Picked out a black vinyl. Kind of looks a little like leather. Should be quite hard wearing and look rather good. So yeah, it's going to be a few days till that's done, which is no big dirts, no big deal. It's bloody hot at the moment. Like, I don't know if you can pick it up, but I am sweating, man. I've got the aircon on. I've just gotten out of a hot shop, and it's the hottest January since records begun in New Zealand in something like 1919 is when we started recording temperatures in New Zealand, because as a country we're not actually that old, so 1919 is a wee while ago. So it's the hottest January on record, and I don't like the heat as a rule of thumb. Today was something like 30 degrees Celsius. But in my place of work you can easily add another 5 to probably 7 degrees Celsius onto that by virtue of what we have to wear and what we do. So yeah, I hate the heat, but anyway, I digress.
Okay guys, so I've got the seat back and I'll show you that soon, but it was time for me to do something about my seat on Manfred. This bike was built in 1997, and the foam on the seat is becoming increasingly uncomfortable. So what I did is I found an old office chair, and I removed the padding off the main seat part from that. Now the padding is it's an injected like foam rubber, quite dense, but very supportive, and actually for something quite dense, rather soft, kind of like a memory foam. So what I did is I used contact adhesive and I glued that to the existing foam. I didn't take off the old foam, it wasn't in bad nick, and then I shaped it with a sanding wheel, not a grinding wheel, a sanding wheel on an angle grinder, and then I took it into a place locally which did an amazing job of recovering it in a I was going to go for a leather, but unless you care for leather properly when it's out in the elements, it doesn't last long. So I've gone for an imitation leather. It's a vinyl, and I'm still going to have to treat it, but nowhere near as much as leather. by doing what I've done with the foam, it's raised me up about, oh no, it feels like I'm sitting about half a foot higher on the bike. It's actually raised me up quite a bit. It's a noticeable difference, but in saying that, the comfort is also a noticeable difference. The reason I did this was in preparation for the South Island trip, where I'm going to be doing about 2,500 kilometres over 5 days. Volgnit is doing about 3,500 kilometres over 5 days, because he's got to come down from Auckland before the ride even starts. So yeah, it was either recover this, refoam and recover the seat, or buy a new motorbike, and I'm just not in a position to buy a motorbike at this stage. But when I do, I'm probably looking at the FJR 1300 yellow car. Yellow car. What's this balls to crap? Stupid George Street Day or something. So where are we going, team? Well, where are we going? We are going to Bulls. I spoke about I mentioned last year about a project that has been taking up a bit of time and is going to take up a lot more time in the near future, and I'm going to share a little bit of that project with you now. That's where we're going. We're going to Bulls, and we're going to a place called Central House Movers, who pick up and relocate homes. Now the hope is, everything going well, we're going to pick up a building and place it on 2 acres in one of the most scenic and relaxing little villages around. And when I say little, it's little. It doesn't even have a store. It's got an old community centre that opens. I want to say old, I mean it was built in like the early 1900s. And on a Sunday, volunteers staff the community centre and sell ice creams and milkshakes and cups of tea. So yeah, it's an awesome little village, really peaceful. Manfred's going to fit in really well. But yeah, the hope is we're going to pick up a building and put it on 2 acres in the village. Have a couple of sheep for the freezer, a pig, some chickens for some eggs, a veggie garden, and not go self-sufficient off the grid, but actually to, you know, produce some stuff ourselves for our own consumption. We'll just keep the cost of living down slightly. That's the plan, that's the hope. Without a Goldwing with a trailer. Whether or not it works out that way is yet to be seen, but it's a work in progress, and it's quite a lengthy process to go through. So we're just going to go to do some measurements. So here we are at Central House Movers. There's a bunch of old houses here up for sale and relocation. Some of them look quite rough, but they've actually got a lot of potential, and the one we're looking at is this one here. 33 metres long and about 12 metres wide. 273 square metres of building. Oh, better get off the bike. That's the new seat. Voila. This building is just about 100k. And then obviously you've got to renovate it, which doesn't scare me that much. I've renovated houses before. Shouldn't be that big of a job really. And if it gets too hard, guess what? That's what builders were invented for. So the planning phase of this project has taken me away from writing. It's taken me away from YouTube, because I have a job. It's no biggie really. It's not costing me money to not make videos. I don't invest any money in making videos other than the fuel it takes me, and obviously the initial outlay of the camera, which, hey, it is what it is. So yeah, it's I know you guys are subscribed and expect content and that kind of thing, and I'll always do what I can do to do that. But as I say, it's not a job for me. This is a hobby, and I've met some great people through this hobby, from all over the world. From Singapore with Keith Wong, to England, to Australia, to the States, to Canada. I've met some amazing people. All of those that support me, it's appreciated. Oh fuck, I hate sneezing in my helmet, man. That's gross. That's gross. Those of you that I chat with regularly through the comments, I don't see you as subscribers. You're friends to me. And in my world, you have acquaintances, those people that you have met once or twice, you're acquainted with them, you know them. Then you have friends, then you have mates, and I've got some mates out of YouTube too. Some really good mates. Mates that I'll be mates with probably until the day I die or until they die, but YouTube has afforded me some awesome opportunities, mainly meeting people. And what's life about? Well, it's he tangata, he tangata, he tangata. It's the people, it's the people, it's the people. That's what life's about for me. It's about finding good people, building relationships with good people, and using those relationships to improve life. And hopefully the relationships I've built, the other person gets as much out of their relationship with me as I get out of it with them.